Hi everyone, happy Monday. I am super excited to be starting a pretty interesting new unit with you all. As much as I am sad that we are not in school and I'm sad that I don't get to see you, the silver lining here is that I get to come up with something totally new during this time, and I'm going to teach you some really cool biology stuff that's going to help you not only better understand your body, but better understand the virus that's going on, better understand COVID-19 and everything going on with it in the news. So before we get into things like the immune system, vaccines, viruses, even we're going to talk about allergies because that's related to your immune system. We're going to start with just talking about body systems in general. Today's lesson is going to have a lot of video watching and also a lot of just pausing my video and doing some work and then coming back to it. It should not be very difficult, and I hope you enjoy it. So first, I want you, when you're ready to hit pause, complete your PDN, and click play once you've done it. So go ahead to pause and complete your PDN. All right, if you've hit play, that means you've done your PDN. These, for number one, you might have learned these in the past. You might not have. Some other systems you might have heard of, we're going to talk about later. So I'm not going to go through them right now. Just keep remembering what you wrote down, and when you watch a video in a bit, you'll see if those are the same systems you named. For the next one, for an example, you could have thought of a lot of things. You could think about like a basketball team where each member of it has a different position, right? The point guard does something different from the center. There's a coach. There's a lot of different things going on. And so they each have a specific job, but then they still have to be able to work together as a team to win a game. If they each were in their own little world doing their own thing, they wouldn't win a game. You could have thought about a school. You have students, you have different teachers that teach different subjects, you've got principals, you've got assistant principals, you've got custodial staff, you've got operations members, so many different people who have specific jobs that all have to come together to make a successful school. If you have any other really awesome examples, please text them to me. I'd love to shout you out for it. We are moving on. You can scroll down to the next page. So through this unit, we're going to watch a lot of brain pop videos. I know that it can be hard to learn from far away, but I think video watching is going to be really useful. So I've created a separate brain pop login. It says KAC8Science for the username and the password. You can use this brain pop login whenever you want. If there's any science stuff you want to learn, go on to brain pop, watch more videos, take the quizzes, play the games. That is totally up to you when you want to use this and learn more. It could be about something totally different from this lesson. But for now, you're going to click the link I have provided for you, and you're going to watch a video about body systems. Before you watch the video, we're going to read out loud the questions you're going to be answering after the video. So number one says, which body system did you already know the most about? Why did you know about it? So maybe it's because you've learned another class. Maybe it's because you've done extra research on it. Who knows? Number two says, which body system did you learn the most about by watching this video? Explain what you learned. So maybe there's one you didn't know much about. And then number three is just going to ask you for an example of an organ. So as you're watching the video, get ready to answer these questions. And go ahead and pause my video and hit play once you finish this page. Go ahead. All right, if you're hearing me talk right now, it means you've already watched the video, you've already answered the questions. Number 1 and 2 were up to you, so there's really not much I can go over with you, but I'm excited to read your answers. Number 3, an organ. So A and D are both wrong because those are body systems. We're going to talk in a moment more about what that means. C is wrong because that is a specific cell. So your body has many different types of cells that keep it going. So you have brain cells, skin cells, blood cells, liver cells. You have cells all throughout. And so a brain cell is just one tiny cell in your brain. B is the correct answer, stomach. Your stomach is an organ. And we're going to talk more about that on the next page. So please go ahead and scroll down. You should be on page 3 where it says Introduction to Body Systems. So I'm going to be reading through some notes to you. I figure that's a bit easier than you having to go back and forth and fill them out, but it's still really important that you follow along. So our first new word today is organ. An organ is a part of the body that carries out a specific function. And you're going to be hearing this word function a lot. It's just a fancy word for job. So it means an organ is a part of your body that has a specific job. Your body has around 80 organs, and some examples could be your brain, heart, stomach, skin. Skin is an organ. Liver, pancreas, small intestine, lungs. So, for example, your lungs, their job is to take in oxygen and to get rid of carbon dioxide. So that is one job for that organ, but that organ works inside of a system that we'll talk about in a moment. The job of your heart, same thing. It pumps blood. It gets blood where it needs to go throughout the body. Organs are made of tissue. You probably heard this in your brain pop video. Tissue is just groups of the same type of cell. So if you have one brain cell, that's just one cell. But when you have a bunch of brain cells together, now it's brain tissue. All that brain tissue together makes up your brain. And then your brain is part of your nervous system. So I'm down at the second, fancier bullet point where it says your organs are categorized into 11 body systems. Each body system is responsible for one or more complex functions. Remember in your head, what does function mean? You should be thinking job, such as moving around, which is what your muscular system controls, or breathing, like your respiratory system. So just like the example of a basketball team, within one body system, like your muscular system, you have a bunch of different muscles that have their own job. But then they all work together to help your body move around and do other things. And then all your systems actually work together as teammates to help your whole body function. So we have a check for understanding question at the bottom. It says, what is the difference between an organ and a body system? So go ahead and pause the video, answer the question, and click play once you are done. All right, you should have, if you're listening to me, it means you already answered the question. The difference should be that an organ is just one body part that does one function. The system is a bunch of different organs put together, so it's multiple body parts that carry out a function as well. So let's scroll down to the page that says related reading from BrainPop. I'm going to read this article to you, and it's going to be your job to follow along as we go. Runners usually specialize in either short or long distance, and it's not just a matter of preference. Whether you're a sprinter or marathoner might come down to your body's muscle composition. That means the way your muscles are made. Specifically, how many of each type of skeletal muscle fibers you have. Skeletal muscle fibers move your body, and they come in two varieties. Fast twitch fibers generate short, intense bursts of energy or strength, but they tire easily. Slow twitch fibers are just the opposite. They contract slowly, but they have stamina. Most people have an even split between the two kinds of fiber. When you're on a 10-mile hike, you rely on the slow twitch fibers in your leg muscles. But when you race the last 20 feet back to the campsite, your fast twitch fibers take over. You have three questions you're going to answer. Please go ahead and pause me, answer the questions, and play once you are done. All right, if you're hitting play, it means that you must have already answered the questions. I am not going to go over them for you right now. I'm excited to see your answers when you turn in your work. You should be moving to the next page, to page 5, so we can keep reading this article together. For world-class athletes, however, the fast to slow twitch ratio can be pretty different than it is for the rest of us. An Olympic sprinter or weightlifter might have 80% fast twitch fibers. That fuels their short, explosive power moves. Long-distance runners and swimmers have a higher percentage of slow twitch muscle fibers. This keeps them going over long periods of time. A lot of muscle composition depends on genetics. Many athletes who make it to the highest levels of competition are born with just the right breakdown. Of course, they also undergo rigorous training to develop their muscle fibers. A genetic windfall can certainly give some athletes an edge, but training and practice can increase anyone's strength and endurance. Work hard, and you may find yourself crossing the finish line first, no matter what muscle fibers you have. So go ahead again, pause me, answer the questions, and hit play once you are done. If you've hit play, it means that you have already answered the questions and you are ready to move on. Again, I'm not going to go over the exact answers for you right now. I'm excited to see them when you turn in your work. But I'm going to read the stamp the understanding at the bottom for you. It says, while all humans have the same systems, there can be differences between them. So you and I and everybody, like every other human, we have muscular systems, skeletal systems, circulatory, respiratory, integumentary systems, endocrine systems, reproductive systems, and so on. But there can be slight differences. And so these differences can be based on genetics or on environmental factors. So genetics, as they were saying, you might have more fast twitch muscle fibers or more slow twitch muscle fibers. There's also environmental factors, such as lifting weights to make your muscles stronger. You and I could have very, very similar muscles. But if I go to the gym and I lift weights every day, I'm going to be much stronger than you if you don't, or vice versa. Or also, smoking, for example, can cause harm to your lungs and to your respiratory system. So even if you and I have very similar lungs, if you're choosing to go smoke, which you better not be, that could cause damage to your lungs. If you have questions, again, please call or text me. There's no office hours this week, but I will be available to answer your questions over call or text. From this point on, you are going to be finishing the lesson. It's going to be watching 4 more Brain Pop videos about different systems and answering some pretty easy questions, and then a pretty short exit ticket. Again, call or text me if you have questions. This lesson really is meant to be sort of exploratory and for you to just learn more about body systems. You're going to do great. I'm excited to see what you put forward, and I'm excited to pick a science MVP from this lesson. Go ahead.